Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Berg's Disc Sports. Check out bergsdiscsports.com for the highest quality disc golf bags and gear that have all been fully tested and approved by our disc golf community. The only thing better than Berg's bags is Berg's customer service. For over 10 years, the Flying Disc Store has stocked Australia's largest range of flying disc products. From disc golf discs and bags to ultimate frisbees, throw and catch discs and dog discs, the Flying Disc Store has everything you need. As part of our support of the Tee-Off, the Flying Disc Store would like to provide Tee-Off listeners with 5% off any purchase in the store. Just use the code TEEOFF5 when checking out to get your discount. Visit www.flyingdiscstore.com.au today to grab a deal. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact their friendly staff. And welcome back to the Tee-Off, an Australian podcast about the awesome sport of disc golf. My name is Paddy Robinson, and I'm in the booth with Andrew Ferguson and Tim Bowen. How are you boys?
Bloody good, Paddy. How about yourself, mate?
Good. A little bit of a different start to our episodes there. We've actually had some Australian disc golf companies come on board and support us. So if our listeners can in turn support them, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So thanks for those guys for coming on board.
How's that Flying Disc Store, hey?
Good on them. Updates, reviews. We did have a couple more people jump on to the Spotify and actually send us in some 5 stars, which is pretty cool. So if anyone hasn't done that yet, please jump on and do that because it makes us more recognizable and, hopefully get in the ears of some more disc golfers. Our Tee-Off pins are live and getting out there. It's been really, really cool. We've sold a whole bunch. Seeing them on bags, seeing them on hats, it's been awesome. So if you haven't got one yet, if you jump on our link tree, which is in the bio of our Instagram, you will see the form there. And as well as disc golf pins, we also have disc golf bucket hats. They're here, boys. I'm just, we'll put it in post and you'll see it on, but what do you reckon? I'm trying it on.
You look like a bogan.
I look like a bogan.
Killed it.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Absolutely
I like the
perfect.
yellow and black. Definitely on brand there, boys.
Coming from the Richmond fan.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm loving the merch. The first run Tee-Off pins are going to be a massive collector's item, so make sure you get onto those. Don't know about the bucket hats. You going to wear one of those in a comp, Paddy?
100% I'm going to wear one in a comp. Although my wife has already given some feedback. She's like, those hats do not suit you. But you know what? I'm a dad now, so I can wear what I want. Looks pretty good on you there, Fergs.
Yeah, I reckon.
Again, if you do want a bucket hat, we only have a few, but jump onto that link tree on the form and you'll see these there as well. So jump on. Cool. All right, Timmy, what do you got for us?
Well, I think you need to play something before we get to my segment, Paddy.
Oh, I reckon I do.
What's news round the world, round Australia? What's news? What's happened and who's spoken?
Thanks, JB. It's time for the recap, and we're going to start straight with the stuff over in the US, because how good is it having disc golf back on our TVs?
Oh, mate.
I watched way too much live coverage on the weekend.
We're absolutely spoiled at being in, the the West Coast of the US too, because the timing of the tournament, our mornings over here in Oz, absolutely fantastic. Dig it.
Yep, so got to tell the kids, sorry, we're not watching Bluey this morning. We're going to watch Calvin Heimberg smash some putts. I'm going to start off with the Disc Golf Pro Tour All-Stars, which was the team events last weekend. Just quickly, Team Ricky Wysocki had the win over Team Paul.
Except Ricky Wysocki didn't play.
Didn't play. Yeah, they didn't change the team name.
No.
But, So Ricky was out. Corey Ellis came in. We properly niced him by playing his theme song on the last episode, and then he swiftly withdrew. But they still got the win. So 7-5. Looks like they won in putting, distance, and an extra score in doubles. So well done to Team Ricky.
And don't know if you managed to catch a bit of footage from that, but it was pretty cool. Like especially the accuracy stuff and what have you. I'd like to see that in Australia. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. They do that in golf too, right? It's like the Ryder Cup sort of style setup, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, Ryder Cup's its own kind of major event, but they got side events as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. On the FPO side of things, team Kat Allen took on Owen Scoggins, and it was Katrina Allen's team that got the win there. Again, 7.5 to 4.5. And looks like the score was separated in putting, distance, and accuracy, which is basically the entire sport of disc golf. So well done, Kat Allen.
By surprise.
Did you see the biggest highlight? Sarah Hokum throwing in with
Oh,
the
was
corner in the accuracy. Yeah.
How far?
I don't know, maybe 60 meters.
Okay.
Something like that.
Oh, that's how you win.
That's
eh?
accurate.
Yeah,
That is accurate.
that's pretty bloody good.
That's awesome. We might need to get something like this happening on Australian shores, I reckon. Just schoolyard pick and then, head to head in some of those middle mini comps.
Yeah. A bit of can jam.
I can't remember where I saw it after, but I heard a comment like, "Oh, this would be great. It should be this sport should be in the Olympics." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yep, never heard that before, but yeah, no worries."
No, that'd be awesome.
I don't disagree, but
Yeah. Now, the All-Stars match kind of didn't really scratch my itch, to be honest, because I'm all about the proper nitty-gritty tournaments, and the first one of the season went down in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Challenge, brought to you by Innova Discs, and it was taken out by an Innova-sponsored hero, Calvin Heimberg, 31 down.
unreal.
Did someone pick him? I felt like someone picked him the other week, didn't they?
Yeah, Paddy, we go back to our picks. We might have to suss that out. I think yours truly may have
I
tipped
think you
Calvin.
might have, and I would go back to it if I had prepped better. But
That'll be $50. That's what we agreed to, right?
yeah,
And on the FPO side of things, I think everybody's first pick got the chocolates in Katrina Allen. No KT, no Paige Pierce. Kat Allen was, I think, a lock for the top three, and she got the chocolates with a 20 under par 4-stroke win over Missy Gannon and Holland Hanley.
I swear at one point she was like 8 strokes in the lead or something, wasn't she?
It's pretty comfy.
Something like that. And then
Actually killed it.
I don't know if you saw this. She happened to hit a golf cart and kick OB.
I did see that.
Yeah, that's pretty
there was a little bit of this going on, which I want to throw out to you boys, but finish your review first.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Look, I think we go straight to that. So things getting hit on the golf course, like you have to watch out for the trees, but in Vegas you also have to watch out for
the hookers.
Road. No hookers hit. But yeah. Well, not on the course anyway. But, Kat Allen hit a golf cart, went OB. Paul Macbeth, he normally gets the kick of the animals because I remember one time he hit a dog and kicked inbounds.
Yeah.
But this one he hit a goose, and I think his disc was tracking for a park job and hit a goose and came up short. And this one was probably the funniest one. Anthony Barella smashed a drive out there, and he happened to hit the leg of a Disc Golf Pro Tour employee who was staring at him, range finding the distance. And not only did his disc go into the hazard, the bloody Disc Golf Pro Tour employee fell into the hazard as well.
What a muzzle.
Talk about having a mare on the course. That bloke he's got the shame of, ruining one of the pros' shots, but he's also on camera falling into a sand trap.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. AB looked pretty pissed off about it, to be honest.
I can imagine. AB was pushing at that point, and what did AB finish? He finished, I think he might have finished second, to be honest. No, he finished down the list. 8, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think at that point he was pushing though, and we're kind of lucky he didn't lose by one shot because it would have been that shot right there.
Well, interesting little point on this. I'd like to just get your thoughts. So on the weekend, I had a little bit of a similar incident where an employee or a volunteer kind of threw me off at one point during the round.
Hang on. Now I was there. Shout him out.
Shout him out. Todd No Whack. So, he didn't realize it's completely accidental, but he called out as I was just about to throw, and to the point where I was literally in my about to release, and he called out, completely put me off.
It was important though, wasn't it, what he was calling out?
Yeah, if people wanted more snacks. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty important. But there was some discussion. I asked after. I was like, "Oh, is that like a courtesy violation? Does that like I felt so unfairly, smashed on that actual hole because I'd come off a run of birdies too and ended up taking me a few holes to get back. But
And before that shot, you hit first available.
I did do that. So I was looking for a big Hail Mary. Let's be honest. So yeah, but like something like that, I did ask the TD after. I played it as like that. It's just bad luck, and I looked into the rules. It is just bad luck. But seeing this incident with AB as well, I don't know. I just kind of feel like it maybe shouldn't be weighed down to, it's not really bad luck. It's just...
It's the rub of the green, Paddy. Just suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how it is. I mean,
how would you possibly try to manage that? People are always going to get... They're unpredictable.
Yeah.
And it happens in ball golf all the time as well. Dudes just smacking balls off and they're bouncing off cart paths and hitting people in the legs and doing all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, it's going to happen.
So if a player did it, a person competing, you could call a courtesy violation. Would you then play your shot again?
Are you entitled to have a re-tee or re-throw?
Yeah.
You are, if a player is deemed putting you off.
Yeah.
well, you can have another throw.
I'm pretty sure. I did look in the... You can stroke that other player. I definitely know that. Or you give them a warning. But I know if like you foot fault and someone calls it, you can actually take your shot again when it's a warning. So I feel like you could take a shot.
I think the foot fault warning thing is a thing of the past. I think now there's no warnings on foot faults. It's just bang, stroked.
Oh, I need to maybe get Paul Arden on the phone.
I'm pretty sure on that one. I think the warning system's gone. It's like now you just get stroked.
I thought you got warned for the first one.
Not anymore. I think it's I think that's gone.
That's just done.
Stroked. You don't have to throw the shot again.
But it has to be seconded by another car member?
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, we're going way off the topic. Moral of the story is you hit first available and then you got distracted and hit second
Moral
available.
of the story is it's like AB's got absolutely rooted by
he absolutely
volunteer.
did. He absolutely did. Macbeth hitting the goose was kind of like blown out of proportions. People were expecting it to be like this goose exploded in a puff of feathers, but he just tapped the goose on the bum and the goose was fine.
Oh, right.
Macbeth just lost a stroke.
Still a birdie, though.
I mean, did he get that shot? I don't know.
No, it's a goose.
He hit a bird. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Dad.
You're a goose.
Now, a few more notables from that comp. So, obviously, the end of a course favours the big arms. So, Ezra Hold, he came second. Kevin Jones also tied for second. And that was notable for a few reasons. Not only a bit of a return to form for KJ, but also Prodigy Discs has been properly brought through the ringer in the last week or two. Gannon Burr, we spoke about the news of Gannon Burr leaving Prodigy Disc last podcast.
That all blew up.
That certainly blew up because in the meantime, Prodigy Disc has gone back and filed a lawsuit against Gannon for a number of reasons, breaking the contract being the main one, but also a bit of brand damage. And I think... not many people took kindly to Prodigy suing a 17-year-old. I think the socials, online, everything.
They definitely put themselves through the ringer.
Very, very anti-Prodigy. I think I saw on my Facebook feed a store in the States was just running a sale, just innocent sale, saying 40% off all Prodigy. And, the comments were just pretty hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Can't even give away Prodigy discs right now. 100% off. But anyway, KJ almost got it done. I don't know if you saw the last hole. He almost threw it in from, I think it looked like a 70-metre shot. Almost threw it in to force a playoff. Unfortunately, hit the top of the band, skipped OB, and he finished 2 strokes back. But, well done by KJ.
Yeah, awesome opening series for him, especially with a little bit of heat of Prodigy. And I know there was some comments that it was all about Gannon Burr, and there's some big names in Prodigy list as well, and Kevin Jones being one of them. So don't know if there was a little bit of fire in the belly there, but Kevin's a pretty cool bloke. I'm sure he was just out there to play and perform.
Oh, good for him. But yeah, the Prodigy, I mean, you did mention they've still got some big names. That was one of the elements of the lawsuit, is they said we're suing Gannon because he's broken his contract early, and that leaves Prodigy without an elite player for the 2023 season. And if you read that and you're Kevin Jones or Luke Humphreys or
Isaac Robinson,
how do you feel?
Even Luke Humphreys came out first round firing.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
as well. I think he was definitely sitting up there after the first round, at very least.
I just
had something to prove, the boys.
Yeah, there's no winners in that hole. thing, really, is there?
No.
Prodigy is looking terrible.
They'll bounce back, and I'm sure Isaac Robertson will bounce back too. He didn't have a good one, but hopefully this is a year for KJ. Good dude. I think everybody has a bit of a favoured spot for KJ.
Yeah.
What do you boys think of the Las Vegas Challenge courses?
Oh, look, it's always the one. I mean, I like that as a bomber course. I like that it throws them off a little bit. That it's always windy, but geez, the golf course looks crap.
Yeah.
Like it's coming straight out of winter. Just like it looks like it's only in that time because that's the only time. Oh yeah, the course is crap, so we'll just let disc golf happen on it. But yeah, it just doesn't look like much fun.
Except for the last hole. The last hole.
Oh, the last hole is beautiful.
The last hole is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that'd probably crack into a Dream 18 sort of style, but the rest of the course is just wide open, patchy brown grassy areas, some dead-looking bushes, and just a shitload of OB.
Yep.
And
not very interesting to look at.
Super windy, and they put every basket on hill.
Right next to OB. Yeah.
Right next to OB, elevated. Yeah. It doesn't look like a super fun course to play. It just looks like a slog.
Bit of a shout out to Ezra Adderhold as well, who came from second card or third card?
Yeah, pushed right up there.
Yeah, on that last round, he had a super hot one shooting a 50. That was it was pretty hot.
Yeah, he does play that course well, Ezra. But we'll see how he goes for the season. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now we spent too long on the US side of things. We've got to get to the Aussie comps because that's what everybody cares about. So we've had a couple. First off, we had the Tintinara Tee-Off over in Tintinara, which is just over the SA border. I happen to get the chocolates there, which is why I'm bringing it up first and foremost.
Well done, Timmy.
Boom.
Very birdie bash course, that one. I think I went 16 down through 24 holes in the second round.
Right.
Only rated 990, mind you, so not a lot of room for improvement there. But good little course. The best placed female was Nicole McPherson, and MP40 winner was Alex Costales. So very good course, Tinty.
It's a few Highs of Flight team members there.
That's it, as usual.
Lovely. How was Tintinara?
How were the locals?
Funny story. Tintinara is bloody beautiful. It's around Lake Indawara, I think is how you pronounce that lake. But beautiful, clear blue water. They've cleaned it up. Lovely place. Camp at the course. But yeah, we're having a coffee after the first round, second day, and old mate in his VN Commodore just rolls up. I think maybe he doesn't. That might be his weekly shower, is just to have a dip in the lake. But yeah, he drove past us as we're all having a cuppa and just said, "Get the F out of my town," at the top of his lungs to everybody. So
Oh, goodness.
Thanks, bruv.
Yep.
Anyway,
classy. You stay classy, Tintinara.
I also heard the mayor of Tinty was there taking photos and just rapped that we were all visiting his town for the comp. So, not just that one local giving Tinty a bad name. They got around the disc golfers, and it was just heaps of fun.
And didn't bring any tinea home? No, good. All right. Then successful weekend.
Well, there's no showers, mate, so I didn't have a chance to. Anyway, that was a small one. The biggest one that went down was the Sizzler.
Oh,
in
yes.
Canberra. And Paddy, you and I were there.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what we had there, what sort of conditions and what the course was like.
Well, look, I flew in on the Friday, had the practice round. It was absolutely beautiful to get back to Western Park. 27 holes in the ground, surrounded by water, out on the lake. Look, it was just fantastic. I had a practice round with Jade Brady, Austin, and Dan Frost. Had an absolute ball with them. Look, it's a very attackable course, but a lot of the trees have grown up quite a lot, so there was a lot of lines that I wasn't, quite used to. I was feeling a bit tighter out there as well. But look, it played really well. The tournament was run well. I will say that some of the information for the tournament came out very late. Like the caddy book only, I think, was out the Thursday night. But other than that, the ACT crew did a really good job. I think Ausdisc came on as the major sponsor there. It was tea time, so it did feel a little bit antisocial at times as well. But look, Budgie and myself went for a big walk on the Sunday morning before a round, and actually that was a lot of fun. We caught up with a lot of people, saw a lot of cards, saw a lot of cool throws. So, yeah, it was good. What did you think, Tim?
Look, mate, I didn't play my best, but I thought it was an awesome, massive comp. There were 17 players in MPO. No FPO players. I think Claire Hussey was the only registered one. She dropped down to play against some others in MA40. But yeah, that big field of 17 in MPO felt like a big comp. All the big boys were there. The local Canberrans, very intimidating, and they happened to smash it because it came down to a playoff between Jade Brady and Austin D'Alessandro, thanks to a throw-in from Austin, mind you. And I think we're getting those two boys on the pod in a minute to actually talk about how that all went down.
Yep.
But the winner, at the end of the day, was Jade Brady.
Yeah. And look, Austin played absolutely outstanding. Bit of a shame that it came down to, a playoff. But at the same time, a playoff between those two, that's absolutely awesome. And the way that it came about, I was standing right behind the basket and it was insane. I'm keen to hear their thoughts about it too.
Absolutely. If you haven't heard already, you've been living under a rock, but Austin went full James Conrad, last hole, last throw of the dice. He's about, 60 out, would you say, Paddy?
Oh, elite. No, it must have been 70 now.
Oh, I've got to be 70. It'll be 90 by the time we chat to him.
Sun was in his eyes.
The wind was ripping and smashed it in. Like, coming from a man, I didn't hit a putt all weekend, could put it in from 4 metres, and he throws it in from 60 plus to force a playoff. Very, very good stuff.
Yeah.
So can't wait to chat to those two fellas. Claire Hussey was the best placed female player for the comp, and other than that, only other notables I had were Justice. He was there covering the comp, and that'll come out through Gatekeeper Media in a few weeks, I imagine.
What a good one to start off filming the majors with as well.
Exactly.
A full playoff. I think it's going to, get a little of the American audience intrigued. So,
yeah.
Hopefully
100%.
they skip past round one, because I happened to be on that round one coverage, and let's just say I left a bit out there. So very, very, very embarrassing day for myself.
I'm just glad that Jade decided to wear a shirt with sleeves for that final round. So that'll be good. Good on you, Jade.
That's good. Awesome big comp, though.
I will give a quick shout out to Troy Faramon. He not only did he win his division quite comfortably in MA2, but he also had a tournament ace on, I'm going to say, hole 22, 23, somewhere around there.
Taking the piss, Troy. I mean, that was so windy.
Yeah.
And as I said, I can't hit putts, and you got these guys throwing it in. It's just cheating.
Yeah, he said
they hit those baskets hard. That's probably the difference, isn't it?
Don't get me started.
No, let's not talk about the baskets, Fergie, because that's another full 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, shout out to Troy. Absolutely killed his division and getting a tournament ace too. Freaking awesome, man. Congrats.
Hole 21.
21, there you go.
21. I'll tell you what, the hole just before that 20 in the wind of our round 2, Paddy, that was playing near impossible. Par 4, got to carry over some hazard to get to an island green. And I think we had, I want to say, like 40 to 50k headwinds at the time. I threw an Excalibur and it looked like a leopard.
Yeah.
Looked like a DX leopard in that wind.
That was the unexpected thing. Like the Saturday conditions were perfect. You couldn't have drawn it up any better. And then the Sunday was still nice and warm, but that wind just sparked up like you wouldn't believe.
I'm pretty sure everyone in MPO pretty much bogeyed that hole, but I need to shout out one boy in particular, Clayton Beck, if you're listening, mate. We all know he has one Yukon disc in his bag, the dragon one. What's it called again, Fergie? Is it the Day? Day. So he's got this ugly-ass salmon-coloured dragon disc, which is just flexible, just cheap Yukon plastic. And on the back of it, he's got written the Timmy Bowen, because he knows how much I hate that disc. And he goes out.
That's great.
He goes out and bloody parks that par 4 for a birdie in that 40, 50k headwinds. So, Clayton, if you're listening, I'm obviously wrong. I'm ready to enter the dragon. Fergie, if you've got one on the shelf, mate, I will buy it. Chuck it in the bag.
I think you need to sign it with his name, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my segment's running a little bit over time. Sorry for that, Paddy. You've got one more comp to cover. It's the Crayfish Cup down in Montello, Tasmania. And that looks like it was taken out by Oliver Mundy Castle with a 12 down. I'm assuming in a playoff because Atticus Ariston also shot a 12 down. But that event report's not in yet, so I can't confirm that. But I'm assuming Ollie got the chocolates.
Nice.
Shout out to the best placed female, who was Emma Dwyer in FA4. So well done, Emma.
Lovely. All right, so as we said, we're going to get the Jade and Austin on the phone and Yeah, have a chat, hear all about this playoff.
I believe they're known as the Canberra Crush boys,
Yep.
or if you're mates with them, just the big dogs.
The big dogs. I heard they were getting called yin and yang after our conversation with Nick Mason.
That's
So
it.
let's see.
We just called to have a chin wag. We just called to have a chat with friends. We just called to talk some disco and to catch up on the latest disco trends.
All right, and on the phone, as we said, we've got Jade Brady and Austin DeSalesandro. How are you guys?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Tee Off.
Yeah, good man. Thanks for having us.
That's right, and got you there too, Jade?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
No
How's it
worries.
going, guys?
You're not 40 feet up a tree, are you?
No, just at John Knight Park, actually.
John Knight, you had enough of throwing over 40 metres, have you?
He is 40 feet up a tree getting his disc.
Thanks for coming on the pod, boys. And first of all, massive congratulations to you, Jade, on the massive win at the Sizzler. We wanted to get you on to the podcast in particular with your good mate and may I say arch rival now in Austin D'Alessandro to chat about how the comp went down and what exactly happened on that last hole.
Are you asking me or Austin? Me?
Feel free, whoever wants to recap it. I'm sure.
Fire away, Jade. Fire away.
So tell us where we're at. So we're going into hole 18 at the Sizzler, round 2. Jade, you have a one-shot lead, I believe.
Hole 27, yeah.
Yeah, one-shot lead.
One shot. I didn't actually know I was in front until I threw that upshot. I threw the upshot, and then all of a sudden I was getting like fist bumps from everyone because I put it at the pole. So I'm like, oh, well, that must be good news then. And then next minute, old mate just throws it in from 65 metres.
And Austin, at that time, did you know you needed to throw it in to force that playoff? Like, Jade.
Yeah, I checked the scores to make sure I wasn't going to put it on the road for no reason if I'd missed.
Oh, far out. That's even bigger, mate. That's even bigger.
It was huge. I do believe I've heard it from secondhand from another person at the course there. I do believe Austin looked at Jade and said, "I'm going to throw this in, mate," and then he proceeded to do exactly that. So what sort of shot are we talking?
Oh, from a knee behind a tree, conservatively, under a branch.
120
I was
metres.
talking up too much, but I think it might have been 150 actually.
Yeah, there we go.
Into a headwind. The sun was in your eyes too. I remember. Yeah.
Had Luke Bain calling friendly right next to me.
Genuine ace running the friendly pops out. That's funny.
Now, and Austin, you're pretty stoked that of all days to do it, it's going to be broadcast on Gatekeeper.
Oh, that's huge.
You're the Aussie
Yeah,
James
huge.
Conrad, mate. The Aussie James Conrad. That was the holy shot.
That was the holy shot.
And just let us know, like, Jade, what were you thinking when that hit chains?
I was kind of out of it. Like I was just in like the zone, and it went in, and I'd seen the crowd erupt and everything like that, and then I put two and two together, and then I was just kind of thinking, oh crap! Now I've got to play hole 13. Like,
Yeah, that was the playoff hole. As soon as I heard that Austin threw it in, I can just picture Jade going, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Please do that.
yeah, so like, oh, so that's what Macbeth felt like.
Yeah, exactly. We've all seen Macbeth on that coverage. Like, oh my god, did that actually just happen? And then, so obviously it did happen. Scores were tied after 54 holes, and we pushed over to hole 13 for playoff hole number 1. What's the attack on this hole? You boys both go backhand, I assume.
Yeah, just back right with that wind.
Yeah. So 13's the one with what? There's like sort of two fairways. You guys go backhand down the left. Is that correct? Am I thinking of the right hole here?
I think so.
Yeah, I go down the right side. There's like power lines going down the right hand side. If you ask Dan or even Austin, like whenever we play Western, it's like the hole that I hate the most. Like I always walk up to it and I'm like, this hole sucks. So after he threw that in, knowing that I had to play that hole, I was like, oh no. I was so confident too, knowing that we were playing that hole. I'm like, yep, can't remember the last time Jay threw this hole well. What do you know?
I'll tell you who did throw that hole well. My buddy cardmate Ryan Budge pulled one right out of the top reaches of his backside, threw a forehand roller on that hole and wrapped the pole. You just had a drop in forehand roller in the wind. It's disgusting.
And that's what Jade ended up doing, wasn't it? Yeah, Jade? Forehand roller on that hole?
Yeah, I actually went long for once. I think it was the first time ever.
So you pured it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did hear you guys both came out at about C2, and that was how it went down, right? Just came down to putting, and talk us through it.
I stepped up first, and I cannot tell you how big that basket looked from where I was.
Oh yeah,
15 metres away. I just did not think it was possible to miss.
Yep.
Little did I know, I hit it straight over the top to 8 metres on the other side, right in that confidence range.
Yep.
Yeah, I did pretty much the exact same thing. I was like, yeah, this has to go in. I just sent it. It's top band. Luckily, mine didn't roll away as far as Austin, so...
And then that was all
what,
Shimo, wasn't it?
what did you have, Austin, like 7 metres or something like that?
Something like that. It should have gone in, let's be honest. Decided to put it straight to the top end.
Yeah. Bit of an anticlimactic way to sort of end, but you know what? Both you boys got there. You both played off as the top 2 players of the tournament. You really deserve to be there because Austin, that opening round, I think it was maybe 10-20 rated, something like that. Was absolutely hot, man. It was pretty funny on the practice day, the round before. I think you left after about 3 or 4 holes, saying you weren't feeling it.
9 holes in, I was heading home. I was done for today.
So you were just saving it for the Saturday, mate, which was absolute awesome effort from the both of you. So congrats, boys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Going into the tournament, I was like, as long as no one from outside Canberra wins, like, I'm happy. And like, and either way that it ended, it was going to be good. So as long as you guys didn't win, Bangy didn't win, we were all happy down here in Canberra. So
throwing down the challenge, I do.
All right, just Vic Open's coming up. Vic Open's coming up. We'll see you there, boys. Yep, no worries.
You boys are registered to play Vic Open?
Yeah, man.
We're chucking in a few Mandos. There's going to be a couple more forehand holes, so just make sure you work on that flutter boy forehand you got there, Jade, because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Awesome, boys. Thanks heaps for coming on. Well done on your performances at the Sizzler. Love playing with you. Love playing against you. And good luck at Vic Open. Hopefully us boys can be up there at the top of the podium for once.
Thanks heaps for having us, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys.
All right, fellas. Thanks again. See you later.
There you go.
What a bunch of characters.
Hey?
Yin and yang.
Yin and yang.
A couple of the big
yang?
dogs.
Well, I think, before the tournament, we were discussing who is yin, who is yang, because yin is more like your positive, yang's your sort of negative, but maybe that's decided it now.
Yeah.
Got to love the vibes of those boys. Anyway,
actually, speaking of just quickly of some nicknames, they have been getting around those 3 boys, Jade, Austin, and Dan. So for the last few episodes, we've actually been calling Dan Frost Ed Frost because of his Instagram handle is dfrosted. So when I just do the old copy paste of when he sent in a question, I've been calling him Ed Frost. So
he's Ed Frost. I thought Ed Frost was someone else.
Yeah, no, Ed Frost. We've established this now. Ed Frost is his alter ego.
Oh.
So yeah, whenever Dan plays shit, we're calling him Ed now.
Oh, big Ed.
And then apparently on some of Justice's commentary, someone was calling him Antonio.
Antonio.
Yeah, so they're the boys are calling him Antonio now. So we just need to come up with a good mistake nickname for Jade, and we're all good. They'll be happy.
Let me work on that. I reckon I can come up with something for that one.
Well, awesome. Ying's got a nice ring to it, to be honest. Maybe it's a bit too positive. But no, thanks to them for joining us, and epic win from Jade.
Huge win. Now, I do believe you've got a second interview lined up, Paddy. Who are we chatting to next?
We're going to get Matt Green on the phone and hear all about the upcoming Two Heads Open. Looking for help with course design and installations, a new disc or other accessories for your game? Well, OzDiscs has a huge range of all disc golf equipment in stock. 5% of each sale goes back to support your local club through their rewards program. Also, did we mention they have next day shipping? Well, jump online and check out OzDiscs now at www.ozdiscs.com.au. All right, and on the phone now, we've got Matt Green from that little island down in Tasmania. Matt, we want to hear all about the upcoming Two Heads Open next weekend, which you are TD for. How's it looking?
It's looking pretty good. Everything's coming together. it's going to be a great tournament. It's the two heads is one of those ones been around for a long time. Most people who have been playing the game for a while have usually come to one of the two heads. I think my first one was back in 2013 when Rich Sampson was running the show.
Yeah.
The game's definitely come a long way since then, and I think the course has probably changed a bit, but it's still the same old, great tournament, great weekend, and it's going to be a great warm-up for people playing in this year's Nationals because it'll be the same course.
Yeah, I could see there was only, at this stage, 28 registered players, which is a little bit low. But, I mean, that's purely only a reflection of the fact that everyone is buying tickets to get down there in November.
Yeah, it's like, I won't lie, it's a little bit disappointing. But, I mean, there's a lot going on at the moment. So, Ball, I think it is, have their tournament on. It's a long weekend as well, which I think in future years we might review a little bit. I think it's the flights and accommodation in Tassie become a little bit prohibitive for some. So that's definitely something we're going to look at. But it's a bit smaller this year, and I was kind of gearing the tournament to be a little bit smaller in size. So there won't be like player packs and stuff like that. But hopefully we'll put on just a more fun tournament for everyone to have.
And I think we've gotten the fact that the Tassie Open was in January. End of January?
It was.
Yeah. And that was Tassie's sort of bigger event where the two heads are sort of taking a back seat because, of course, Poimina has Nationals at the end of the year. So I think that's probably reflecting the numbers as well. But it's not stopping Paddy and I from getting down there, mate. We're super keen. I love Poimina.
And 10 other Vics as well.
10 other Vics.
12 Victorians heading down, which is good.
Yeah. It's great to see. And the Tassie Open was that was great. That was down at our new course at in Franklin, down further south than Hobart. So it's probably one of the most southern. I'm guessing it is the most southern disc golf course in Australia, and that was a great event. And that's been moving around the state. So last year it was up in the northwest in Burnie. So we've got Disc Golf Tasmania recently formed. And that's sort of running things there, and we've got an idea to share the Tassie Open around the state and help grow the sport in different regions.
Yeah, that's awesome.
we do that too in Vic, actually. We have it at Ballarat sort of one year, and then the next year we like to move it over to Ballarat. And then the year after, we kind of have this idea where we'll just put it in Ballarat again. So, yeah, it sounds like a plan. I reckon it'll go down the street.
I'll be seeing you guys at the Vic Open. Yeah, I'll be at the Vic Open this year, and I signed up for it. Yeah, it was Ballarat last year. I wonder if it's going to be this year. Like, oh, yeah, Ballarat.
Yeah, look, they've got their reasons for it.
Spoiler alert, 2024.
Ballarat.
That's awesome stuff. So, Poimina, look, I've been there before. Rolling hills, rolling away discs.
Lots of those.
Any danger that you could sort of, keep the wind and rain away? Because, Poimina is already hard enough. I don't want to be battered by rain and wind.
Well, you're not, coming to Tassie if you don't get some of the rain and wind. I mean, come on.
Oh, you're not wrong.
Hey, I want that full immersive experience. I want to prep for November. Bring it on. The last time I played Nationals or Champs at Poimina, it brought the rain. I'll tell you what, brought the rain. So bring it on.
Well,
Paddy, any chance that you're going to head up to Mount Wellington again and throw an Araby off the?
That would be littering, Fergie.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
This was a few years ago. So.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, we need to get down to business here, mate. MPO currently has 6 players. We filter it by rating. The big dog is in the room with me, Paddy Robinson.
Oh, really? I got the highest rating?
I'm actually big dog number 2. This is uncharted territory for me. Anyway, what I'm angling for is I want a tip. Who's your tip to take home the chocolates in MPO?
Oof, that's a tough one. So I reckon your big competition is going to be either Daz, because he won it 2 years ago.
Bloody lefties,
yep.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's a very lefty-friendly or forehand-friendly course, so you've definitely got the upper hand there. However, there is a wild dog in the race.
Yeah, who is this bloke?
So Ollie Mundy Castle has made the step up into MPO, and it's his local course.
Good boy.
He's been putting a lot of work in. He's I think converted to a full RPM bag this year, so he's looking dangerous. I reckon you've got a bit of a run for your money.
Sounds good.
Bring it on, mate. We've just got. We were just talking to the Canberra boys who were putting the challenge down to the Vicks, and it looks like you're following suit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
we don't quite have your population, but we'll get there.
That's awesome stuff, mate. I personally cannot wait to get down there. Sneak peek for Nationals is an added bonus to what is going to be an awesome.
Oh,
comp.
definitely.
Will the course that we're playing, is it going to be the same as it will be at Nationals, Matt?
As in the layout?
Yeah.
Yet to be seen. I was having a chat to Sean, and he's going to be the TD for Nationals, and I think he's got a few ideas. But even if there are some layout changes, it's still the same 40-metre course. So you've still got the hills, you've still got the trees, you've still got the wind, the rain, all of those fun things that make 40-metre the one that people curse about.
All right. Sounds good. Cannot wait. It is one I never try to miss. The Two Heads Open. A lot of history, a lot of fun. And I'm keen to get down to the old Willie Smith cider as well.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Apple pie time. Happy days.
Yeah. All right, Matt.
We got a few of those ciders in the fridge, so that'll be good.
Beautiful. Sounds absolutely fantastic. So thank you, man, for coming on and telling us about Two Heads. If there's anyone on the fence, or even if you're looking to check out that Nationals course, keep an eye on some cheap flights and sneak down to Hobart during the year before November. Unreal.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's a very different beast to those big flat courses you mainlanders have.
All right, mate. Thanks for joining us again.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Good on you.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, Paddy, what's been your worst rollaway at Two Heads?
I actually haven't been stung that badly.
You haven't been stung?
No, look, it's
Oh.
only been about sort of, the little roll to maybe outside a circle or something like that. We know they've got a couple of OB islands that they bring in. But yeah, no, it hasn't been too bad.
I should have just assumed you had the 3-time luck. I haven't quite had that luck. I remember our last time I was there on hole 17. I think it's about a 100-metre hole. You throw like across the road. I did that. My disc hit the ground in circle 2. Instead of sort of floating up to circle 1, it got up, rolled back over the road, down 3 holes, and I reckon I was 120 away from the pin.
Oof.
So a bit of negative 20 distance on that. And but it was a cool line. I had to throw a random line. You got like 6 groups playing other holes. Like, where the hell's Tim going? Like, why is he coming onto our fairway? It's like, yeah, my disc is down here, mate.
Yeah.
So it rolled back inbounds off the road.
Over the road, inbounds, another 80 metres down past another 2 baskets.
That's
Oh,
proper
that hurts.
point-metered.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like that kind of stuff is just like you just have to sit back and laugh.
Yeah. Speaking of sitting back and laugh, I remember watching a good video of someone you filmed. You sniped properly
Oh,
down
here we
at
go.
Poimina.
Who'd I snipe?
You sniped Abra. Properly, mate. Properly.
I did get in with the old camera sniping. didn't
I think there was hole 8.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember stepping up to that hole going, Abra, he's got such a controlled backhand here. This is perfect for his lefty as well. And I think he hit the tree 5 metres in front of his face, and then it rolled to a worse point than where he was teeing off from. It was a massive oof. So sorry, Abra.
Properly sniped by Timmy Bowen.
The iPhone strikes again.
Mate, I think there was a time.
Maybe we can share that one on the socials. I do enjoy it.
I'll try and find it. There was a point at Canberra where I think I was filming people hit big putts, and then they were like, "Oh, do you want me to film you?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, thanks." My phone's got that ability just to.
I reckon this has to be a new segment or something on the socials. We can bring out like Tim's snipering moments.
I've got plenty.
Awesome
stuff.
All right. Next up, we've got a bit of a follow-up from our last episode. We did have some late submissions for the segment that we ran, whereas like what can I say in disc golf as well as in the bedroom. So I just thought we'd share a few of them right now for those late submissions. So Justice Halbeck said in, grip locked it. Right.
Jason Vidu, did that go in?
Too real, Vito? Too real?
From range.
Hey, so is this third one here from the eruption?
I think he's just using the name, The Eruption.
The eruption. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I've already butchered it. The UDisc top 100 rated courses.
Go to the next one.
The eruption.
From Dan Frost.
From Ed Frost. Okay. filthy spit out.
Oh,
This is kind of what I expected the first time around, the dirty stuff.
yeah.
Hang on a minute. Who sent this next one in? Emily Robinson. Do we know her?
Yep. Mate, no, I never heard of it.
That's Mrs. Robinson. She sent in just simply, doll.
Is she chatting about your guts?
Moving
Your doughy guts?
No, I think
on, I don't want to go into that at all.
I do.
I'm suspecting some clangers in the bedroom there from Emily Robinson and Paddy Robinson. But, look, we'll move on. Chris Ronalds. Can I have a mulligan?
C-Ron backs it up again with, that's out of bounds.
Too real. Yep. And Braden Boyack, last one. Last hole, I spat out on my third stroke. Braden, you are an absolute charmer. Good on you.
Shocking stuff. Now, can we please kill that segment to death?
Yep, that's done.
It's done. Thank you.
It's done. It's never coming back.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Alrighty. Now, actually, last episode we did mention a little bit in our Trash or Cash about DIY disc golf baskets, DIY disc golf carts.
And they were unanimously trashed, right?
They were unanimously trash.
I put the call out. I said, please send in your creation if you've happened to create a disc golf basket, and we will rate it. Gordon Ramsay rate my plate style. And we've had someone send something in.
Yes. Now, Andy Wisniewski from Sydney has sent in a couple of photos. The first one, now I will preempt this with the message that he sent with as well. He said, one man's trash is another disc golfer's treasure. He said, I had to build these myself because my tight-ass son, Reese Wisniewski, wouldn't buy me either of them.
Oh, come on, Reese.
Sounds like my dad, old Andy.
Yeah.
Now, what exactly am I looking at here? What is this thing?
I think we're looking at something that it's like Officeworks shagged Bob Jane Team Up or something. It's
Well, look, we've got a great tip shop in Geelong, and I reckon he's gone straight there. Like everything's come straight out of that. The top rim of the basket is a bicycle wheel.
classic.
The cage is a car tyre.
Yep.
Which is sitting on a fire pit grill, and the base is an office chair.
Yep, I'm seeing office chair wheels because that's what you want in your disc golf basket is a little bit of manoeuvrability. Yeah. Wheel it around. And don't forget some luxurious premium PVC piping there. Lovely.
I think the chains are somewhat reasonable, actually. I think the way that they're hung is actually kind of not too bad.
Now, look, I've seen better looking items in the hard rubbish collection. What on earth are you thinking here, Andy? Like, for one, and then look, if I'm going to critique it from a purely technical standpoint, the bike tyre is wider than the car tyre. So if you're hitting the outer ring of the chains, that's not dropping into the bike tyre.
I am curious to hear how this thing catches.
Yeah.
That is for sure. That is for sure.
Is it called the tread?
And like the tyre itself, I mean, like the tray needs to be bigger. Did you whip that? Did you rip that tyre straight off a Daewoo Lanos? Like you couldn't find like a Ford Focus or like a Holden Astra? Like,
yeah, I think overall, I'm still going to say trash, Andy. And I will put a call out to your son, Reese. Please, just buy him a basket, mate. What's a Rad Birdie light worth?
Mate,
these
if you
days?
can't find $250 lying around,
dead set. If that man's putting into that piece of trash, we need to start a GoFundMe. Like we can't have Andy learning to become a good disc golfer on that.
if he, for the time it took him to make it, he could have walked to Geelong and picked one up from the warehouse.
It's not an opportunity to sell baskets, Fergs. Now, he's also made a disc golf wagon, and this this I've got a little bit more time for. So what we're looking at here is a pram, do you think? Or is that a golf buggy style? What did that start off as, Paddy? What are we looking at?
Yeah, I think it's actually a pram, seeing that there's a hood on it. Which he can only be using to either keep his putters cool or, the esky.
Yeah, I do like this. So, I mean, and it does come across as a little bit salesy, like he's trying to tell us that it's actually good. Yeah. Like, this is like but wait, there's more. He's got esky, seat, tubs, drinks, keys, putter pouch, storage. So, yeah, that's ticking all the boxes. One thing that you sort of glossed over there, Andy, is where you actually put your discs, $1 like plastic tubs.
They look like the Spotlight ones. There's the Spotlight ones getting round that actually fit it perfectly. I reckon that's what they are.
I mean, I don't want my disc rattling around these cheap ass tubs. I think I gave Matt Hill a bit of sledging for his PVC tubs. Maybe put some canvas bag there or something. I don't know. But look, I'm going to give the cart a pass mark. I'm going to give it a C. I'm going to give it a C plus.
Yep.
The basket itself, I don't want to actually look at that again. I'm giving that a straight F, mate. I've got to be honest. That is disgraceful.
Look, it looks functional. Let's be honest. It looks functional. The cart.
The cart's got an esky. I mean, that's a unique selling point. So I like that.
On function, I'll give you a B plus. I'll give you a bit of cash, but overall, nah. Sorry.
That's shocking. That is shocking. But thanks for sending in your creations. If anyone's encouraged by that and would like to send in their creations for feedback or possible improvements, please send in your DIY baskets or carts to the tee-off. We'll happily critique them, and I promise I'll be nice next one.
All right. Maybe I'll submit my own and you can tell me what you think.
Just spruce for the $3 plastic tubs. It's the $1 plastic tubs that instantly deter me. But anyway.
Nice. All right, next up, we've got the results for the Australian Dream 18. So we this week, it is Hole 4 is up. Nominations came in. So we had 3 nominations. Marlon Gonsalves nominated Crater Lakes over in Mount Gambier, Hole 4 there. Jason Brown nominated the Mundaring Hole 4. Which was pretty cool. And then Dan Frost nominated Western Park. Now, you can jump onto our socials and have a look at those videos, breakdowns of the holes. Pretty tough sort of ones to pick from, to be honest. I found it quite difficult. What was your favourite, boys?
I've gone maybe just the recency of how early I played it, but the one at Western. Hole 4's a cracker. You got to hit that gap, get down the hill, and then the approach is not to be underestimated. Very cool Hole 4.
For me, it was Hole 4 at Mundaring. I do think it's a nice tight fairway out to an opening, and then you're kind of landing in a landing zone where you've got another dual kind of fairway, well, not another, a dual fairway to hit to a basket. So, yeah, I like the look of it. Great trees, not so much elevation on that hole, but it's nice.
Yeah, cool. Now, at the time of recording, there is still time to vote. So, early front runner at the moment is
Western Park.
Western Park's winning so far.
55%.
Got about another 16 hours of voting, so we'll see if that holds up, and we'll publish the results next episode.
All right. Thanks to all those that nominated, and those 3 boys will go into the draw to win a big prize at the end once we release the full 18. Next up, we had a couple of questions come in. One we should have maybe asked Matt Green, but the boys from the Disc Golf Warehouse over in WA have asked, in regards to the Australian Disc Golf Championships this year, what does "it's coming home" mean? Now, this is their slogan that they've put out. Do you boys have any insight into this?
Now, I did see this. They did some pretty cool reels on Instagram where they were showing some, archival-like Australian sporting moments with some cricket, some footy, and some real old-school stuff there. I'm assuming it means something about 2 heads being one of the origins of Australian Disc Golf Champs. Fergie, do you know a little bit more about that?
It goes before or beyond, I guess, 2 heads, is my understanding, because I know there were some Australian nationals, as they were called, hosted there in the 80s.
Was that the Bird brothers?
Yep.
Hosting? Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
So, headed by Lee Bird. So that's my understanding. I don't know the exact dates of when that first nationals might have been and whether it was there. I mean, they're claiming it to be, so they've probably got their history right.
And Poimita, it's one of the oldest courses, if not the oldest permanent course in Australia. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think 85, 86.
Yeah.
Yep, when it was installed.
Awesome.
And of course, it wasn't a full banger 18-hole course initially. It was some baskets, and I think maybe 9 initially, and then it kind of grew. But yeah, so I think that's the coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Which is fair.
I mean, when was Nationals there last time? Would have been, 2016, 17? Maybe even before that.
Before that.
15?
15.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, far out. Been a while. Actually, a quick question with the baskets that are there. They aren't PDGA approved baskets. So does that mean if Champs is anything higher than the C tier, they'll have to get new baskets?
Well, one would think so. Yeah. I mean, if they're not PDJ approved, then they're not PDJ approved. So, yeah, whether they purchase some new ones or update in some fashion or get those ones approved, I'm not too sure.
Yeah. They cop some flack, the old baskets down at Two Heads. I don't think they have any nubs. So you can like smoothly glance off the tray. But no, any excuse to get some nice yellow rad baskets down there would be very, very peachy. Now,
wouldn't say no, guys. Wouldn't say no.
Now, next question sent in by Robert Lambert. Thoughts on bag tags, format, what to do on league tags, and tracking. So bag tags. So now, if you have no idea what we're talking about in terms of bag tags, a lot of the local clubs will put out, numbers 1 to 100 bag tags to players at the start of a season. And the idea is that on a league day, if you win your card, the person on the card with the highest number has to hand that over to you, and you sort of, follow suit. Second place gets the second, I said highest, lowest number. Third place gets the third lowest number, and so on and so forth. And the idea is that you keep changing bag tags throughout the season, and at the end of the season, whoever's got the lowest number has the bragging rights. Have you guys participated in bag tags ever or before?
Yep, I've got a few number 1s, number 2s sitting at home.
Oh, yep. I'll turn it up.
I vividly remember taking number 1 overseas for like a year. He just got severely hated for it, which is fair enough.
Yeah. Sorry, Melbourne Disc Golf Club. I think I might have gone up for their early league days, grabbed their number 1 tag, and then shipped off back to Geelong.
I'm done.
There's actually, speaking of Geelong, there is a new rule that's come in that if you get number 1 tag in Geelong, you do need to have a round or put it out there for people to invite them to come along and challenge you for it within 2 weeks of you getting it.
Yeah,
so there's no kind of like holding on to it and pissing off back to your hometown. It's you got to put it out there for people to win.
Well, I think this is making some good points, Rob, for your discussion. Yes, I am not the biggest fan of bag tags. I think they're not done very well in the past. My situation that I was grabbed one, and then I only played like 2 or 3 Melbourne League days in the year. So they're the opportunities to go and actually nab them from me. In the past, people have had options to say no when they've been challenged and stuff like that. So we've brought in rules that, you can't say, or they forget their bag tag. And
forgetting of the bag tags is what ruins bag tags.
Yeah.
If someone forgets to bring it, that just completely ruins it.
Yes.
So I think that's maybe the one thing I would say about the bag tags is the ones that I've participated in have been very cheap and sort of, not really anything that you can sort of strap to your bag or pin onto your bag. And it's just been like this big, bulky bit of plastic that I've had to sort of pack. Not really encouraging me to bring it along to every round that I want to play.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're going to run bag tags in your local comp, make them desirable. Spend a couple of extra bucks on each one. Make them out of metal. Make it a pin maybe so you can pin it to your bag, or actually like key ring. Something that players don't have to remember to pack and bring along to every league day.
What about a tattoo? Just a straight up
tattoo.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to go down that path, why
not? What about a virtual number?
I think that if someone has the skills to actually set that up, that would work better.
And then something you can all just tap into and just jump online and look at who's got what number. It's all written down there.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get the nice. It's not a bag tag then, but like still that could be kind of cool. Stops people from having to forget them and
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I did like, bag tags absolutely take off in some clubs. And I saw overseas that they were recognising defends. So if you've had number 1 and you defend it 7 times, you kind of get recognised for 7 successful defends of that.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah.
I think that could be fun, but you got to have a pretty strict set of rules, and everyone needs to buy into it because, if one person just starts to be like, you know what, I don't want to feel like challenging someone, or I don't want to be challenged or whatever, then it just kind of ruins the whole point of it. So
exactly, yeah. And he's asked what to do on league days. I think, some clubs are like, well, on a league day, all 30 bag tags or how many players you have get thrown into the mix, and whoever wins the league day gets the first one. But it's not really how it should work. It should be like just your card and, personally challenging and taking on those higher numbers in a card of 2 or a card of 3 or a card of 4. So, but yeah, definitely. I don't mind the bag tags. I haven't really bought into them just yet, but I think they're a good idea.
Yeah.
Now, what's going on here? The next two questions are personal attacks on the good character of Timmy Bowen. What is happening here?
Ryan Budge says, when is the Tim versus Budgie mic'd up round happening, and how do I sign up?
Well, you know, if
Budgie
anyone's paid attention to our Instagram the last week, we did a little teaser of what this would be like.
Yeah,
we mic'd up and we did a 3-hole walkthrough of Western with Budgie and Tim mic'd up, and I've got to say, I enjoyed it.
Look, I'm a little chirpy. I'm not going to lie. I like a little bit of sledging. I feel that's when I play my best disc golf, is when I'm relaxed and having a bit of banter. And me and Budgie, we finished even at Sizzler, so I think a mic'd up practice round would be great.
Well, look, now that I'm confident that the mics actually work, we'll definitely have to get something on film.
It did make me realise that, like, I love watching OTB skins. You ever watch that? Why don't they have mics on their players so we can actually hear what they're saying? They're putting out 10K skins and stuff like that. Can't spend a little bit of cash on some mics anyway.
Now, I will say though, Tim, having done some of the editing on the footage that I did record, I don't know if you realise that you sing a little bit when you play.
Yeah, I do. I did hear that. I was trying to figure out what song I had stuck in my head then.
Yep. I don't know what song it was either, because there was a lot of do 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 do.
Yeah, look, I'm
something by Beyonce.
I'm a white rhythmically challenged man, Paddy. That's the best I can do. Sorry, mate.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Now
Next,
we got to ban this bloke from posting in, right? Like, can we just can I just block him in from sending stuff in?
Cam Ford is asking, where is Tim's post about the Sizzler?
I'm waiting to hear about his performance.
Oh, goodness gracious.
As always, he's hit a nerve, Cam Ford. I did think about, if I was organised, I would have done it, but I did come in here in a King's costume when I won a comp, Paddy. I was trying to figure out if someone can paint my face as a clown so I could roll in today dressed as a clown, because that's how I felt after Sizzler. It was an absolute stinker for me. I've never, I say never, I putt badly all the time, but that was a particularly low point. And look, just make sure you keep an eye out for Justice's round one coverage, because the putting was deplorable. It felt like I was trying to throw a beach ball into a basketball ring on a windy day. Couldn't get it up high enough. And even when I did, the bloody basketball ring wouldn't catch me bloody beach ball. I'm looking at you, RPM baskets.
Yeah.
They didn't catch a bloody thing for me all weekend.
Oh,
anyway.
They were a bit rough. What I will say to that as well, Tim, if you and I had played on a card together, you wouldn't have been saying, three-time luck anymore, because that was the worst 2 rounds of bad luck that I've had in a long
turn it
time,
up,
mate.
Turn it up. Yeah, like 8 years of good luck coming back. Anyway, Cam, I think I'm going to skip posting about the Sizzler, because I'm that dejected about it, ready to bounce back at 2 heads next week.
Now, before we go, I thought we'd share about some disc golf tips. And being that we had to deal with a little bit of wind at the Sizzler, I thought we'd talk about wind in disc golf. So the first one I wanted to mention is about headwind. A headwind increases the apparent airspeed of the disc. So what this means is the amount of spin necessary to keep it stable becomes greater. So a headwind also reduces the distance possible and lifts under discs that are pitched with the leading edge up, sending them into the air. So where this is important is if you are dealing with a headwind off the tee or with your throw, stable up. Choose a more overstable disc. Try to keep that nose of your disc very neutral, because if you, like that says, if you lift the nose of the disc, it's going to send the disc up. If your disc is heading into the ground, it's going to send it there quicker. And if you can, try and put more speed rotation onto that disc. Get it spinning faster, and it will fly further.
And is this in the case of throwing a disc relatively flat?
Relatively flat,
So what if you're trying to combat that headwind with more hyzer, and you're a hyzer flip player?
Yeah.
It's still going to speed the disc up, and it's still going to behave more understable than
more understable.
But you just got to make sure, obviously, if you're throwing with hyzer, that you don't put the nose up for obvious reasons.
Yes, correct.
If I ever learn how to throw with hyzer, I'll give that a crack. But I think that's a real key learning point when you're first starting at disc golf, is like, why does my disc do that in the headwind? And then when it finally clicks, you're like, that's, I need to just stable up, get a beefier disc. And I feel like that's a turning point when you're just starting out in the early days.
Yeah.
Now, tailwind. does basically the opposite. So tailwind decreases the airspeed of the disc, which essentially makes your disc more overstable. So you're going to see that fade earlier.
So, but it also increases ground speed too. So while your distance may increase, there's a drop in lift, which means that the disc needs to be thrown at a higher angle of attack to counteract the wind that tends to push the disc into the ground. So there's a few things there. So if you're sitting there with a big tailwind behind you, I typically will throw a less stable disc, so more understability, and I will give it some height because that wind will push the disc down. It will make it more stable to try and get, my drive or my disc acting like it normally would.
I know we're talking about driving here.
Yeah, or approaching.
Or approaching, and even putting as well. I mean, it's very relevant for tailwinds that you need to put that disc up a little bit higher because the wind is going to push it, drop it down.
Yes. And again, nose control is very important on this too. If the tail end of the disc is, facing down or up, the wind will interact with that, as we spoke about with the headwind too. So try and keep it pretty neutral.
So crosswinds. Crosswinds have the most effect on banked discs, either by pushing the raised edge up and lifting the disc, or by pushing down on a lower edge and possibly making the disc dive into the ground. Crosswinds also make it difficult to keep the disc flat on release, and even experienced players may find it difficult to keep the angle of spin in the plane of the disc.
Yeah, definitely. Crosswinds are tricky. I think if you're one of those players that can control the angle of your disc in terms of hyzer, flat, or anhyzer, that's particularly useful in a crosswind.
Yeah.
Because, I find myself, I'm normally flexing over overstable stuff. Mm-hmm. And if I've got the crosswind sort of hitting the underside of the disc, I'm not really going to get that fade back that I'm expecting. So
I think this is another important, I think this is where it's important to have both throws, forehand and backhand. I will typically, if I've got, I'm a right-handed thrower, so if I've got a right to left wind, I will try and throw something a bit more overstable, but I'll throw it forehand, and vice versa with backhands. So if you do have both those throws, that's how I try and keep my flight a bit more consistent in crosswinds. But if you if you've got some big crosswinds and you are exposing the either side to that wind, it's going to either push it down or send it way far right or wherever the wind is blowing. So
which is essentially what you do when you're throwing pure distance, like in comps and things like that. So a crosswind maybe over your, as a right-hander, over your left shoulder, putting that thing up there on a bit of anhyzer and just letting the wind take it.
Yeah,
it's going to have that effect.
So you can use it to your advantage, and you can also use your throws, whether forehand or backhand, and ride the wind. But just be careful if you're throwing something understable with a crosswind, that you're not exposing the wrong edge of the disc, because it's going to get throllery very quickly.
And I think we've spoken about changing the angle and changing the throw for winds. One of the things that you see a lot of the pros do is they'll have 3, 4, 5, 6 versions of the disc they like. Just say they're a big Destroyer fan. Their very old, beaten-in, flippy Destroyer will be for tailwinds. The one that's less beaten in will be for sort of neutral conditions. And they'll have a brand new, fully overstable one for headwinds. So, if you're struggling in the wind with your favourite disc, it might be time to buy a brand new one of that, and that can be your headwind disc.
Yeah. And that's a great way to do it, because it's familiar in the hand. You're not having to change moulds and what have you and dance around. Stay with the one mould and get a few of various beaten upness.
Mm. Alrighty, well, that brings us to the end of another episode of the Tee Off. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Send in any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss. And if you want to pick up some of that pretty sweet merch, head over to our link tree on our bio in our Instagram and order a pin or a bucket hat today. Until next time, boys, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks to the guys who came and called in, Matt Green, Austin DeSalesandro, and Jade Brady. And until next time, hopefully you get out and play some disc golf with your mates and just enjoy it.
So that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you're still here. We have to go see our families. Seriously, just go play disc golf.